And there we go. Hey guys. Um, Feels like it's been forever since I streamed, even though it's been only 3 days, 2 days. It's like no time at all. But yeah, so we're going to be back on the groom a little bit today. Obviously, we did start look dev last week, but I want to really, I want to minimize the amount of times I go back and forth between groom and look dev, especially since the look dev I'm going to struggle on quite a lot, I think, just because it's the first time doing hair look dev in RenderMan. But yeah, so I'm going to push through and add a few more features to the groom, and then we can kind of leave it be for a little bit. In terms of where we're at, so this is the most recent render that we've got. I've not worked on this outside of the stream, other than one very quick thing literally in the last 5 minutes, which is I've added this clump here just to make it more symmetrical. But that's the only thing I've changed off stream, so it's identical otherwise. If I get a concept up, ref. So as always, the concept is by a guy called Rowan. If you go onto the description of this video, you'll find a what's the word? You'll find a link to his. Oh god, really lost words today. You'll find a link to his art page. You'll also find a link to my website if you want to reach out. Contact me there for either freelance or tutorials or whatever. There's loads of stuff there. But yeah, so this is what we're working on. So let's give ourselves some notes and then we can get working on the groom. So the first thing I noticed that I'm missing completely is this silhouette breakup up here. This is completely smooth. I am going to add one more groom just to get the straight clumps. I know we've got the matted clumps. I'm going to add a few more of those, but I think to get this look I'm going to need a straight clump specific groom, I think. We might try to see if we can get it without a separate groom, but I don't think we'll have much success. We need to get a bit more of this kind of side-to-side variation that we see in this reference here. So currently mine feels like it's kind of a surface almost. Come on, let me zoom in. But yeah, currently mine feels a bit like a surface, so like this section is completely straight, so I want to kind of break that up, like really get some different flows in there. Same on this side. I want to break up this triangle, although you don't really see much that's in the reference. I do want to get some like nice swirly shapes off of that, because currently it's too much of a straight line. And other than that, I'm mostly happy with how the groom is. There's a few issues, but I think if I spend too long on it, I'm going to end up never finishing the project. And I like to live by the whole finish not perfect thing. At least now I do anyway. I used to never finish projects because of the whole wanting it to be perfect thing. So yeah, we'll spend this session on groom. Next session I'll probably tweak the model a little bit. I need to learn how to transfer grooms across models. I'm pretty sure I know how, but I'm going to check with some professionals soon, find out a bit more. But yeah, so if anyone has any questions as we go, do let me know, as always. I'm just going to put that on the other screen. 1 second. Cool. So I'm just going to keep my render on the other screen so I can kind of keep track of what I need to do. Cool. So I think the first thing I'll do is let's get some, not you, let's get some variation in the neck. I need to break up this section here. So let's just try adding some guides right next to each other that force different shapes. This is a complete shot in the dark. I don't know if this will work yet, but we'll find out. I just want to do stuff like that. This should hopefully be quite a quick change, but I don't know for sure yet. I'm just adding guides to get very specific shapes right now. I basically want to do like partings without region maps, is what I'm trying to do. So let's see if just doing those gets the general effect. You get something on this side, but I don't think it's working well enough, so we're going to need a bit more information. So let's add a guide right there. Right there. And pull him this way. Maybe even do that. And let's add a guide next to him, just to get a bit more of that parting that I mentioned. Obviously normally for partings you do a parting up. Hey there, man. But but in this case I don't want to use a parting map for one little section. If I can just use 4 guides to kind of force a gap. I don't need a perfect parting. I don't need there to be like no hairs in between. I just need there to be a visible change. So something like that, in theory, should start to work. So let's check if that works. Yeah, so that gets something. Even just something as subtle as that, we just need to break that silhouette because it was too much of a perfect straight line. So that's as subtle as we need. We really don't need much. So let's do the same here. I'm going to just target this guide. Target guide. Move selected, and then I'm just going to scale it back so that it doesn't meet the tip. Maybe push it out a little bit as well. No, didn't mean to do that. Come on. Cool, that'll do. Let's put a guide right next to him. Again, this is just to force shapes. It's not the prettiest guide work. This isn't something you conventionally do, but I just want to get something in place. So I can feel myself like slowly burning out on this project, so I want to avoid that. So I'm just going to push through as much as I can, as quick as I can. Because the last thing I want to do is not finish a project. I'd rather just get something out. I'm pretty happy with most of the results of this project. There's some stuff I'm not too happy with. The hair shading is the one at the moment. But obviously we haven't really dived into that yet. I need to do textures and all that sort of stuff. So I just want to get a bit more variation in the neck groom. So I'm going to force some like crosses and that sort of stuff. Get the hair to kind of pass over itself. Obviously these will be interpolated to the point of like kind of breaking. But you get something. That might be all we need, because that's starting to get some big breakups now. And then I think I'm going to bend this to one side. So let's have a guide right there. So there we go. That might help with the triangle look. I think that does help. This section's bothering me now though. And that's why it's bothering me, because nothing's going on there. So, which way do we want to dominate? Do we want this way to dominate, or do we want that way to dominate? I think inwards, because I'm dominating outwards in most cases, so let's do that. That's why I'll pick a side to be the favourite. So let's just pull those together. Cool. So something to quickly bring up. I'm potentially, nothing's been signed yet, but I've been talking to the guys at Flip Normals, and it's looking like I'll be making a tutorial series for them. So if there's anyone watching the stream and they want, like, it's going to be focused for beginners. It's just kind of like an introduction to grooming, kind of, you know, do's and don'ts. Around 4 or 5 hours, I'd imagine. If there's any topics that people struggle with a lot that could be covered in that sort of tutorial, let me know. I'm more than happy to kind of go through that sort of stuff. We've got apparently 2 guides on the same spot, which is not ideal. Yeah, so there we go. We're getting a bit more interest in that area now. Feels more natural. Actually getting a bit of an S, which is quite nice. Hey guys. But yeah, so if anyone has anything they'd like to learn a bit more in depth for like the paid tutorial series, let me know. Because it's been a long time since I was a beginner, so it's sometimes quite difficult to remember what I struggled with most. So yeah, if you guys let me know what it is you struggled with, it'd be very much appreciated. Let's do that. Put a guy in the middle and fix him. There we go. There we go, we got a little bit of a parting there as well. Perfect, so we've broken up that perfect triangle. It's still a triangle, because we didn't really do anything to change that. But it's got breaks in it now, it's got flows to change. We need to fix whatever's going on here too, because that's kind of crazy. And that's in the hair groom itself. So let's ignore that for now. I'm going to save my scene. So the other thing we need to do is add a lot more of those matted clumps. So let's go in and add a few more of those, shall we? So we got one there. Let's add one right there too. I think that's still in the hairline. It is. Perfect. And with these being like art directed shapes, I'm free to kind of change the length of them if I want, because I don't plan this guy to be animated at all. And even if he was going to be animated, you can get away with a bit of length kind of bodging if you get in a specific shape. I'm going to completely change his length though. So this might be a bit too extreme. In animation you'd notice this, depending on how it's simulated obviously, but let's do something like that. And that could look quite interesting. We can probably delete these guides that are on the mouth and the shoulders soon, just because we've got enough guides now for XGen to start. So let's go into head, hide that. I want to add a matted clumps. Creator, no, tool editor. Cool, save that. XGen, save. So we're going to get some crazy spinny thing just because we haven't fixed it yet. There you go. So just need to turn on generate for guides, save that, and then before we update, just resave this guy. Perfect. So let's see if that hangs outside of the head groom or not. So we now need to pull him out a little bit. Matted clumps. Might be a bit too obvious now. Pull in a little bit. Looks like it might be interesting. I think it's popping out a bit too suddenly. So let's try pulling that back in a little bit. There we go. A little bit more soul. Cool. I'm going to give that a quick test render. So let's just go like this. Yeah, that will do. Render man, IPR render. Should take about a minute. So how's everyone doing anyway? Is everyone doing well? see how that refines. I think just having little matted clumps here there really helps a lot. Especially since he's like a, not, I don't know if he's in the jungle or not. I still haven't decided if I want to make like a little backdrop for him. I think having that in helps quite a bit. Just gets a bit of extra interest, you know? Let's give it a bit more context. Drag that out. Yeah, he really makes a difference. At least in my eyes. I think this side needs something. I don't know if I want to do a matted clump or a flow change, because it's quite straight and boring over here. But then something like this might be all it needs, maybe just cutting across, or like folding up, kind of laying on top and sweeping. Could be quite interesting. I think they're a bit too sat on the surface, I think. So let's just kill the render. How do we go from here? It was. It's a bit too strong from a distance. So let's pull that in a little bit. And I'm going to turn off the. Oh, I'm going to turn off lock length, just to have full control over the actual shape. There we go. That will sit in the surface now, it won't be sat on top. Perfect. So we need one more kind of around here, doing like a nice little flick back up. It might look a bit too strong, perhaps. Find that out. So let's just place a guide. Let's go here. And then I just need to, I'm just going to get the shape that I want. I can normalize the guide in a second. Let's go to primitives. Normalize. I think that kind of shape could look quite interesting. It's just a case of, do I want it to completely flick up? Yeah, I think that looks more interesting. Alright, so let's fix the actual silhouette of this guy. I think I kind of want the top to flick out a little bit. He's way too long though. That's the problem now. Is yeah, you don't see most of him anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But so let's get some hair at the base of him. Cool. That's the clumps. Modifiers. Down to this guy. Guide. Save that out. And then just update the clump 2s. Oh no, not export guides. Save that again. Cool. He looks like he's going to be super strong actually, because there's one random curly guy on the outside. It looks interesting, but it might be a bit too strong. So let's give that a go. Yeah, way too strong. Okay, let's pull him in a bit. Longer. That's a clumps. My computer's making a lovely little buzzing noise at the moment. I think it's just one of the fans is kind of shaking something. Has that gone too far? No, it sits on top. This is still too much though. So we want it to sit on top, but we don't want it to completely dominate everything. Let's try that. There we go. That's pretty much perfect. So just kind of hide in the hair. It might still be too strong. Let's do a test render and find out, shall we? Save the scene. Does anyone have any questions or anything? Or anything you want to chat about? Yeah, that's looking interesting. I think for this front section I'm pretty much done now. Houdini Hive demos are going on this week. I haven't checked out Houdini Hive. Is Hive like a learning resource type thing, or? Let's see how the texture of this guy's working. Yeah, I think once we've got textures on that, it'll look kind of cool. Is USD used at your studio? I think that is an NDA question. I can Google it and see what comes up. Just search MBC USD. MPC R&D USD based. So there is something. USD based sequence editor. Yeah, so this whatever the information in here is all I can say. Yeah, but the nature of that question is NDA, so I can't really talk about it. It's a pipeline thing. RenderMan for Katana webinar just finished streaming. Nothing special to be honest. RenderMan for Katana is amazing though. I love Katana. It's really nice. Don't use it at home, but I have used it before. And it's really cool tool. Alright, so we got those in place. Next thing on the list was to break up this guy, because this is looking really weird. And then the final thing from there is add some stray clumps to break up the silhouette top, because this is super, feels like it's almost combed. Like adding the extra matte clumps will help, but it won't fix it. So I need to just get some stuff to break that silhouette. Hell, even if I sketch it, can you draw in this? You can. Let's do that. Throwing over mouse is maybe not ideal. That isn't ideal either. Pencil. Just doing something like that is literally all it needs. It just needs some silhouette breakup to make it kind of just read. So at the moment it's perfectly smooth. Are you on Discord channels? No, I'm not. I have a Discord, but I haven't used it since the early days of Shaders XYZ. So back when they were planning that, I was in a Discord for it. Rest in peace, Shaders XYZ. Right, so just need to remove these hairs. I don't think I ever got around to that. Let's find out what groom they're in and get rid of them. Cool, so it's that one. So let's go into this guy. I'm going to turn up the gamma so I can see. And set that to sRGB. Yep, there we go. So I need to set this to black with no stylus pressure and just get rid of that. I'm going to look for anything else like that. With a gamma of 2, everything should be pure black and pure white, so if I see any patches of grey, I'll get rid of them. Looks like it should be fine though. Cool, so let's save that. And save this guy too. Cool. Turn this back down. It's kind of gross. There we go. That's that fixed. Still not entirely keen on the hairline. Normally I would add a baby hair's groom, but I don't think we'd see it on this guy because it's all so hidden. Let's just switch back to aces. Save the scene. Cool. So let's go into that side section. We need to break this side up. You can kind of see where the issue is that like the furthest back break was here, so we need to create some shapes. I think I'm going to use these two guides to do that. These two guides. Cool. Do you know how to export non-IGS groom to Alembic without converting printers into curves, of course? You can write out a mel file. There might be an Alembic option there. Operation create mel file. And then I guess there's a conversion script out there somewhere. That would save out the curves without actually converting it in scene. It just saves out the file. Maybe creating geometry would be able to use Alembic. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just mel file. But yeah, I don't know if there's a way to export Alembic directly. But I'm sure there's a mel to ABC script out there somewhere. Has to be. So, mel file creates curves. Yeah, so that's what you want though, right? You want curves, or do you want actual raw geometry? That's not what I want. I mean, if you're taking it into something like Houdini, maybe you could export a mel. Maybe Houdini can open it and then you can just put a polywire on it or convert it to ribbons. That's going to have to check it deeper. Yeah, for sure. Let's do that. Let's see if that does what we want. Turn that off. Cool, so we're getting some more interesting shapes. We need something between these two. So I think that will do enough to break up the general feel of it. We just need a gap here, or some like visible divide, which I think we can get with more guides. So we got you, and we got you. Yes, I think we're just going to need a guide like here, because I think that's where the interpolation is coming from. So if we had a guide right there, yeah, that's where it's coming from. So we just need to use this to do something. Pick a side, pick a side. I'm going to go with down. Oh, no, I'm going to go with in. I'm going to ignore both of them. Let's do that. It's going to look really ugly, but it might work. That did absolutely nothing. Perfect. So let's put that guide back. I need to lock that layer as well. $20. So we got him. Don't know where this white glow is coming from when I select it. I don't remember it doing that. Also, why is... What the fuck? Why is the... Why? What? Okay, that's super weird. Anyway, doesn't really matter. There's something wrong with the move tool. Let's go with down. And then let's add a... I'll have to obviously update the guide compact. Let's just pick you. And then let's get a guide in there. Cool, and let's just go in and update the guide compact. No, they're not guide compact. Cool. That might get enough in there. We're getting a bit of a gap. That might be enough to make it feel a bit more broken up. Maybe the last thing we can do is kind of change the angle of these, but currently these two clumps are facing the same way. So maybe if we grab, let's go with these ones. And just play with our angle a little bit. Maybe have it more like that. That might be enough to get the angle changes. I'm going to save an alternate version for that though, just in case. Looks like it's working. Yeah, it's working. Perfect. This side I'm not going to worry about yet, because I still haven't decided what I want to do with this side. But that's now starting to get some kind of horizontal breakup, which it really needed. So the last thing we need to do is try to get those stray clumps up here. So I'm going to try to do it without using a separate groom for now, just because I've already got so many grooms. So I'm going to place a guide right there, and I'm going to tell this guy what to do. Scale you up. I don't know, does anyone know why my green has gone white? Because even the central one has gone from orange. I can delete my prefs, but I don't know why the colour green goes white now. Super weird. So let's try see if that does anything. I'm getting this tiny clump, but I don't think he really matters. Let's try adding a couple more, and if that doesn't work, then we're just going to have to do... Unless we can grab this guy, do something fun with him. Let's do that. These are going too far, but I think interpolation will pull them back in. It's doing something. So let's try just pulling these guides up. Maybe I don't need to go in and hand place some clumps. Maybe I can just get away with doing something literally as simple as this. Let interpolation do the rest of the work for me. Granted, if you're doing this for production, I wouldn't recommend that workflow at all. We're getting something there now. That might even be enough, just to stop it being perfect. So let's check with a quick render. That's a render man IPR. I'll grab a drink while that starts to render, guys. I'll be back in a minute. There we go, got some bolts in there. Just wait for this render to start. Cool, we got around the starting. I think those tiny clumps might be enough, you know. It just stops it feeling a bit, just makes it feel a bit less perfect, which is really all we needed. Clean up a little bit more. Just render like this. I've not changed most of the ears. I've changed that though, so just avoiding having to render extra. Should probably work a little bit on the body, because the body is very underdeveloped at the moment. Are you playing this up? I did, like, very briefly for a second there. I expected the render to take a bit longer to start. Let's give this a couple of minutes. I think the clumpiness of this lower section of main isn't working for me yet. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do about it. So if I remove a percentage of the clumps, it's going to make it feel fluffier, and I'm not sure I want fluffier, I just want less clumpy. Maybe if I have like 10% of the clumps not clumping, or 10% more of the clumps not clumping. Let's give that a go. I think that's not working for me yet. Attic clumps are doing something interesting. They might not work once we got the shader in there, but they'll do something. So let's kill that. And I need to check the body on the neck groom, sorry. So that was like a, was that percentage base? No, it wasn't. God, this clumping was doing almost nothing. Alright, what's you doing? Okay, so this is where the real tightness is coming from. Never mind, it's you. Alright, cool. We need a percentage affecting. Load expression. Load others. Percentage affected. And I need to update this, because I found out that if you have a rand in the result, it will randomize it every frame. So let's do rand value equals, and just grab this. Do that. And let's replace this with, come on, there we go. Dollar rand value. Apparently that's a lot more stable. I need to save that as well. Save as, percentage affected. Cool. And I'm going to change the seed. That might help. Maybe lower the percentage on this guy as well. That didn't do anything. Come on, update. Cool. Let's bump it up a bit. Let's go to 50%. There we go. That feels a bit nicer. So I think groom changes wise, that might be all we need. So I just needed something. I don't need it to be like as strong as the concept. I just need something to break it up, and that's enough. Matic clumps added. Maybe this one's going to be a bit strong when we add lit dev, but we'll see. Change the silhouette and this dude a little bit, that's fine. Updated this to have more side to side, which it does. A little bit of a weird thing here. Let's check that out. See this like darker patch? I've got a feeling it's just hairs not covering each other. Yeah, it's just this guy. So if we had a guide, let's say there. And I'm just going to pull him out a little bit. Makes him a little bit more, so there's a gap that we're looking through, that's the issue, but maybe have these pull up a little bit. So this might not work. Let's check. There's like a really gross hacky way of doing it, but if it works, it works. We just want to stop it from seeing the roots of the hair. That might be enough. Let's try that out. Yeah, that helps. This makes it feel like there's less of a gap. There is still a gap, but it makes it feel reduced. Cool, so I'm going to save this scene. Then let's go into the XGen folder. I need to make a duplicate. So into XGen, collections. I'm going to delete you. I'm going to duplicate this guy. Do I need to copy paste them? I need to copy paste them. Cool. Rename him to backup, just in case things break. Right, so save this. I'm going to that should be fine. File, export, collections, export collection file, export. Why did I close that? Oh. 19th, yep, so that's the file. So, let's open our look dev scene. Model. Cool. So this is the old groom. Just going to delete that. Let's save an alt version. And then import the collection. Overwrite. So we've created our backup. So if it breaks, it breaks. It will say failed. I've never really figured out why it says failed. But in theory, we now have a working groom. Yeah, so obviously we don't have any materials attached. We'll have to reattach all those. This is where referencing would be really nice. But apparently referencing is too much to ask for. I'm just going through and hiding the guides as the groom generates. Cool. I have peach fizz, that's why it doesn't have any guides. Cool. So let's save that scene. What is that error that's coming up? Default on blender option. I don't care, I'm not using armor in this scene. Cool, right, let's assign the materials. So, which grooms did I use? So these are the hair materials. So, I need to organize this as well. This is our blue hair material. Hello.
It goes?
It's going alright. I've just done some groom changes.
Cool. What kind of groom changes? The good kind?
Hopefully. Broken up this section, added a bit more variation to the silhouette and neck, added all this. I've got like 5 different things, I think.
Cool.
But they were all super quick changes. I didn't spend much time on any of them, really. Alright, so let's assign that. Then... Cool. And so then we have hair white matte, which goes to body. I think that's the only one. Cool. And then we got peach fuzz matte. Wonder where that goes to. Cool. And then we got whiskers matte, which goes to whiskers. And we got peach fuzz, oh no, eyelash, which goes to this guy. Cool. I need to organize this, so I'm going to organize that super quick. Let's see if we can lay all these out in a nice way. Does it work? Kind of. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to have all my materials be to option 2 in this. I'm going to have everything that goes into them as option 1. And I don't know what the name is, it's just the amount of attributes visible. That makes it easier for me to see. And let's lay that out again. There we go. Not new referencing is too much to ask for. I don't think we'll see any feature update anymore sooner or later. All of that will be Bifrost. You think grooming will move to Bifrost? Or are you just saying that their entire development will move to Bifrost? Because I'm pretty sure Action, they've stopped developing completely. Like, I'm not even sure if it's a rumor anymore. Let's do a quick test through this render cam. I want to make sure that I have camera projection turned off, just so I don't have depth of field. And I want to see kind of how this stuff is looking now. IPR that. I need to look into Bifrost a bit more because it looks like it's really cool. Got 11 views at the moment, not bad. If anyone wants to post these live streams, that'd be much appreciated. I don't make any money from them, but you know, if I'm sharing knowledge, may as well get it out there. I don't like posting it around myself too much because it feels like we talked about this in the last stream as well, but it feels like it's too much self-promotion if I'm going around posting it everywhere myself. And that's something I try to avoid now. Granted, a little bit of self-promotion here or there is good, but still. Extra in stock completely, pretty sure all will move to Bifrost, same for Deformers motion graphics. In far end procedural modelling. Yeah, I feel like procedural modelling is just going to get more and more popular. I mean, I started using it in Houdini quite a lot for environment tasks. So I'll let that do, I think, 3 passes before I focus the render on one section. I think this might not be strong enough. Yeah, I don't think that would be strong enough, to be honest. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. We'll find out. So while that goes, something I really want to try out is there a way for me to use, rather than using a color map directly, I'm wondering if there's a way, like in texturing the hair, I'm wondering if there's a way for me to just give it the UVs. In theory there is, because there is a UV attribute, but I've never seen anyone use it. So it's super confusing to me as to why no one's using it. Maybe it doesn't work properly. I think for now I'll texture the hair in Maya, which is disgusting, but I think this helps a lot. Alright, let's get a focus render on this region and just see how those matte clumps are working now. Unfortunately, with Autodesk speed, Maya will be killed sooner than Bifrost full release. Yeah, probably. I feel like they're almost intentionally killing Maya at this point. I also find it annoying that literally the day that I buy Maya, they announce that they're getting rid of the free versions, which kind of annoys me because it means that now that I've bought Maya, people are going to start using it less because you can no longer get a free version of it anywhere. I feel like if there's a really good way to kill a software, it's to prevent people from being able to get it for free very easily. I understand they did it because people were making money on the free version, which is completely fair. I mean, the only reason I bought it is because I wanted to start doing freelance, but I can't imagine everyone does that. So, yeah, they've probably just killed their software with that, which is a bit of a dumb maneuver. I think this curly clump is actually working quite well. He looks interesting. And this stuff does something. It's not perfect, but it does something. And how's this section working? Get that going. This is the first rumblings I've heard of Autodesk killing Maya. Wow. Yeah, I mean they're not killing Maya, but they've basically completely murdered the student version. So the student version used to be You know, you get it and you've got it for 3 years and you can update. I had, again, like just the stress for legal reasons, I didn't make any money on the student version. But I did use the student version for 8 years. I had it from 2012 till literally last week. So it used to be possible to kind of keep learning software, and again, as long as you're not making any money, they were fine with it as far as I'm aware. But now that they've made it so that you need to provide proof and you have to do so every year, it's basically impossible for anyone who's not going to university, like actively going to university. It's hard for them to get a license anymore, which makes it so that more and more people aren't going to learn it, basically. I'm not going to say Blender because people are saying that way too often. I don't think Blender will take over in its place. I think Houdini will get more popular. Because although Blender is going to continue to pick up people because it is a decent software, Houdini is the other tool that's actually used in production. Like Houdini is often used at studios, Blender still isn't at that stage. So it's a good time now for people to start using Houdini. I was very strong, as soon as I saw the announcement, I was like, maybe now's the right time to buy Houdini. That was my reaction to finding out Maya is getting rid of the student version. Granted, I ended up buying Maya, but that's because, again, I wanted to do freelance. I think this is working quite successfully now, actually. I think as a whole, we're starting to get to a place where the groom is interesting. This section down here is not very good. Let's just get the neck. Oh, I killed the render, so it's gone. Yeah, Blender is far from being ready for production. Yeah, exactly. It's great for small projects here or there, but it's not great for actual production, where you have hundreds of artists and you need proper version controlling. As far as I'm aware, like it has its own version of file referencing, but it's not robust. I haven't been into it and checked, but as far as I'm aware, you can't do like a tip for anyone who's new to Maya. One of the most powerful things in Maya, like everyone knows about what referencing is, but not everyone knows that if you go into the reference editor, obviously I've got nothing in here, but if I had a reference, you can click on the reference and list reference edits. I've got to see if I can find it. Yeah, so list reference edits and file there. And that tells you everything that you've done to the reference file. So in that will be, you know, you've loaded in the reference, let's say it's just a character, and it will say you've assigned this material, you've constrained this, you've constrained that. So if you load in a rig or anything like that and you accidentally delete a connection and then you animate without realizing that you've deleted that connection, rather than go all the way back to the scene before you deleted it, you can just go into list reference edits, look for that moment you deleted it, and remove that from the edits, and everything you did after that, as long as it's not directly affected by that, it will still work. And it's such an amazing feature. It's something that is very rarely helpful, but when it is, oh my god, it's a lifesaver. It can save you like potentially days of reworking stuff. Granted, if you're an animator, you can choose Atom and transfer it across, but there's plenty of like scenarios in which that would be really a lifesaver. And as far as I'm aware, Blender doesn't have that. It's not a deal breaker for me. Like I wouldn't get Blender if it suddenly got that, but at the same time, well, I say I wouldn't get Blender, but I have it on my desktop right there, so I just don't use it. I've got it, but the full intention of never using it. I wish I could actually delete those reference edits tip. You can do it once the reference is unloaded. I'm pretty sure you can just delete the reference edits. I remember doing it quite frequently. I remember like saving one of my animation scenes when I was in university by deleting the reference edit. But yeah, so this section here is kind of shading white because it's all like a flat plane. We need to kind of break that up, but that's not something I'll do right now. I think right now I'm going to do the very first test of texturing. I have no idea how this process works, so if you guys don't want to see me learning a completely new thing and stumbling through the whole thing, then now is a good time to stop watching. But if you're happy to see me kind of scramble around a bit. So let's go into... I need to hide the head. I need to hide all the grooms, to be honest. Not on the bigger alembics. Yeah, I can imagine once you get to like full, like massive scenes, it gets quite difficult. But for small stuff, it seems alright. So So I'm just going to hide the neck and the body grooms and just show the guides instead. So I think the ear groom I can kind of put up with painting a texture with that. So let's go into, I think, expressions, color. Let's call this blue. Actually, is it in? Time to do some Googling. XGen hair texturing. So this is the classic. I can't really watch a video on stream though.
With Grammarly,
I don't care about Grammarly. There you go. I should care about Grammarly, what, because I'm so bad at typing stuff? Yeah. For those who don't know, I'm borderline illiterate when I'm typing sometimes. I rely so much on the autocorrect, it's kind of scary. Or autocarrot, as Becca calls it.
Leave it alone.
Leave me alone. Let's see if this guy... that looks like it might be what I need. Create interactive groom. No. So I know it says Arnold, but I just need to find out what the expression is. U param chord, V param chord. Is that really a thing? Let me get the blue hair. Why is there not a manifold on this? Oh, it's not called that though, is it? It's called PXR texture. And create a PXR manifold. And then result into manifold. Well, for now, let's use a PXR checker. And plug the result RGB into all of these.
You can turn the light on, it's very dark.
Go for it. I'll turn the light on my desk. Alright, so we've got a temp. Let's call this Pixar hair color. Let's just call it blue coal. Alright, so we got U. So Primvar ST. Do we have? I'll send you a link. What some Pixar staff told me. It's not pretty, but it works. I don't know if you'll be able to send a link. If you can't, just replace like a .com with a inwards dot. Manifold won't work straight away. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have to change the Primvar ST. It's just a case of finding out what the Primvar is called, right? Because we've got the primitive shader, surface shader parameters, sorry, which have U and V. But we don't have a UV, and I don't know if we can just... I don't know if we can directly connect that up. Attribute editor. Right, let's Windows property editor. Search Google. Cool. So I just need to replace that. Thank you, by the way. Very much appreciated. I've never actually rendered the texture on a groom before, in XGen at least. Oh, it's got a welcome to the. You can't use U access and V access. It's not working in Action Core, only OJS. Okay. As well for working. Access and float XT. Yeah, so he's just creating so we suggest you use the new interactive grooming. No. No. This is not a groomer that said this. Okay. So I need to make 2 expressions. Let me just double check. And again, I've never done this, so you're gonna see incompetence in this stream. 13 people are watching my incompetence right now. That's great. Custom shader parameters. That's per description though, right? Well, I guess if it's saving out a ptext, it would save it out for the whole geometry, right? So I can kind of get away with using it. Excel primvar. My map. Okay. Let me leave. Oh, it's a GIF, that's why. Okay, so do I have to do that for each and every single one? If I have to do it for every groom, then I'm just going to use a different way around it. So, I imagine I have to do it for every groom, which is kind of annoying. So let's just do. So we could just paint it in here. I just want to see if we can use Mari really. Let's try a float. So let's do base U and add that. Then create a map. I'm going to need to create Critter. I need you. In fact, I don't know how to use Critter for that actually. Nuke. I need you. I don't really know how to use Nuke for this actually. Is there a ramp? What's position? Move. 0.0. And then what size is this image? And so this one can be 0 to 2K. Oh, I don't want it to be 2K. I want it to be a square 2K. There you go. And then the top one of this can be 2048. And that should be a linear ramp, right? So that is pixel. Yeah, that's cool. That's fine. So let's create a right. This might be the grossest way of ever doing this. I just don't know how to do it any other way. So let's go into, let's put in source images. In fact, no, I've got texturing. Textures, I'm gonna create a folder called hair. I'm gonna create a folder in that called utility. Cool. And then in this, I can call this ramp v dot Let's do TIFF. In fact, I can't save TIFF out, I think. Oh, no, that's a restriction on. Right, can I write you? No, just one frame. Maximum 10. Alright, so we're doing 1K. So I'm on non-commercial for this guy. So annoying. Cool. And then we need ramp U, which is the same image but rotated. So let's do P1. You can go to 0, 1024, and write that out. Cool. So, should be able to close that now, because I've got the images. Maya. So I need to, let's get this open, in tab. So I need to create map. Cool. Fatal error. Yay. At least it created the image. So my crashed version will have, oh no, the crashes never carry the Xgen file with them, that's annoying. They always kill the Xgen groom. So, we're just going to have to... Why is the Arnold render view opening every time? Come on. Oh, that's why. Project's not set. Set project. Custom projects. Samurai City. File open. Model. And 49. Saved that 13 minutes ago, so I'm going to potentially lose some stuff. Cool. So, let's try that again. So I'm going to add a custom shaded parameter called base U. And then add that. I want to create a map for you. I'm also going to open up the hypershade. Hopefully it doesn't crash this time. Cool. Create a map. That's fine by me. Oh, I need to set this to 1 because I was getting crashes anyway. Do that. Cool. Replace U with textures, hair, utility, ramp U. Beautiful. Okay. Hit save on that. Cool. So that's him done, I think. So if I hit paint on you again, alright, cool. Does that get carried into the other grooms? I really hope it does. It does not. So, let's reopen this scene. This expressions tab works across all grooms, right? That's the point of it, I think. So let's try it in here. Base U, float, create that. And let's create a map. Set to 1, base U, create. Cool. Actually, that's it. ramp youth, next gen, paint, and save. Oh, I need to save you here as well, and save you here. So I should be able to use that across all grooms. So if I go between grooms, we still have this float base U thing here. So if I create another one now, let's just call this one base V. Although I could just create one called base UV and separate out. Does the Pixar expression allow multi-channel? What's it called? Is it Pixar attribute? I don't think it was. Float. Well, I guess if I did a color one, that'd allow me multiple outputs. It does. Alright, cool. So then, can I plug that into a manifold? Trimvar ST. What do these have to be? What file type is that? Well, either way, I need to go back into Nuke and create that UV autosave. Yeah, sure, why not? Cool. So we got our V. Let's get our U back. Oh, that's not what I want. Oh, I wasn't viewing it, that's why. Cool. So if we shuffle, I hate this so much. I hate the new shuffle. I miss the old one. I've gotten so used to its awful UI that I now no longer know how to use a different. Because I just want all the channels to be shuffled into red. That's all I want. But I don't know how to do that anymore. I guess I could just shuffle all these to black, but still. Like. Which way was red though? I'm pretty sure that we want have I got it the wrong way around? Or is that the correct way? I know I can test this. Go back into mine. Create a place 2D texture node. Open up the material viewer. That's how it should look. So I think it did have it the wrong way around. So back into Nuke. So I just need to shuffle U to green, I guess. And shuffle U to red. Is that the correct way around? That is. If anyone didn't know how UVs work, pipe everything into it. Yeah, it wouldn't let me pipe things into red. Like it just doesn't let me connect multiple things to red. But yeah, so we got a UV map now though. So let's call this ramp UV. Render that for one frame. Cool. So then let's ignore this guy. If we go into close this. We have that now. We can delete him now. So let's go back into XGen. I'm going to reopen this scene because I don't like having all these stray variables. Cool. So let's just call this base UV color. Add that. Then get that. Not you. Create a new. Create map. Base UV. That should be fine. White is fine. Cool. Then load him. Ramp UV. Go back into XGen. Paint. Beautiful. I never realized how disorganized my UVs were until I see a ramp on it. Why is he green? Right, so let's drag him away. So I need to save you. I need to save you. Cool. I'm just being paranoid now, but cool. So, do I just need that? Let's go back into here. And then is it Pixar attribute or the Pixar expression? I need to check that. I think I was sent. I can't skip through it because it's a GIF. Thank you for telling me this though. I have no idea how to pronounce your name. I'm going to say, I'm just going to say Zaya. If I'm wrong, forgive me. I'm awful with words, as I was saying earlier. Pixar prim bar. I swear I couldn't find that a second ago. Either way, let's close that. PXR prim bar. Oh, apparently I was wrong. And then entry editor. Variable name, so that would be base UV. Type is color. And then for now, I'm just going to plug that in to you. I want to see if this works first. I'm going to save an alt version of this scene. Cool. Let's see if that works. Moment of truth. If this works, then I just need to figure out how I can convert that color output into whatever data type the blue input on the Pixar manifold is. Which, by the way, if anyone knows what the Pixar manifold input data type is, because I can't remember if there's a way to find out. Maybe if I hover over the, maybe if I hover over it, that'll be fine. But let's just see if the UV map works first. It's so like nerve-wracking going into something like texturing action hair when I've never done hair texturing in action before, and I'm doing it live in front of 13 people. I feel like my imposter syndrome is, well, it's not even imposter syndrome because I legit don't know how to do it. But well, there's the beautiful default color. So that's not worked. So let me consult the GIF. Unless expressionless just doesn't work, and I do have to do it in every single thing individually. That saves a ptext map, right? So all of them should be able to use that. Is it just not right? Custom shader attributes. Did I just grab this and copy it into all of them? I don't see any reason for that to not work. Let's go color. Let's just call this fur is... Oh, I know I need to call it the same thing in all of them. Alright, let's just call it base UV. Oh god, so many grooms though. Alright, so let's go through one at a time. Base UV, create, and then I want you to be based on a map. Let's call it that for now. I'm not going to use it anyway. And then I'm going to replace this with that. Cool. So that's that one done. And if I click paint, right, okay, so that's loading that one in. So then if I go to the body, call this one body UV, oh no, it's base UVs, base UV, color, create map, base UV, uh-oh. Ah, right, okay. Come on. Okay, so that killed that. So I need to make sure I go in and... God, it's so annoying. Can I not delete this? Why is there not a delete button right here to delete this? Right, okay, so I'm going to reopen that scene. Cool, so let's go back into utilities, expression, sorry. Cool, right, so you're still working. Fine by me. So, one groom at a time, let's do this. Preview and output. I'm going to call this base UV, because the name cannot change. It has to be color. And then I'm going to create a map, but I'm going to just... Cool. And now I can do that. And I can click this again. Why? Why do you not work? I can go in one at a time and attach that fucking thing, but that should just work. I guess it's copying the same name every time. Oh, you just put in the name and press. Why is that a thing? Why? What? So if I just put base UV. Oh my god, that's the most stupid way of deleting something I've ever seen. And that's still broken. Right, okay. So let's go into, not the render layers, Hypershade. So, why is that not showing? There we go. It's still okay. I thought I was being tricky there, but apparently I can't do that. It annoys me so much that this gets automatically created. So I can delete you then. UV, save textures, save E. Right, so we have that one back. So I'm going to save this scene. So then I don't want to have to create a separate shader per groom. So I need to find a way to get this to actually just straight up load on all of them. So when I create this, it's going to try to create a map with the same name. Wait, does that mean I can do this? So, create map, blah 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 blah. Keep the same name. Plug you in. Right, and then not touch it. Just save. And then if I go to the next groom, call this base UV. Color, create. Create map. Create. I had to break eventually, didn't I? Okay, cool. So let's go into Hypershade. It's still created base UV underscore 2. That's fine, because I can just go in and replace this with ramp UV. Let me know if I'm butchering the workflow, by the way. I genuinely would love to know. Because the way I'm doing this does not feel correct. But that said, as far as I've heard, like, the workflow is legendarily bad. So let me just go into you, save you. I want to make sure these are all saved, and save you as well. Cool. So base UV. And did I save that scene? I'm going to save the scene. Cool. Base UV, create. Can I do this? Would that work? So I'm going to test. So that groom is front clumps. So I want to see if this works. I'm going to hide all the grooms I haven't done so far, which are almost all of them. So I need to keep ears, front clump, and body. If they all work, then I can just go through and copy paste that. It means I can't see it later, but I'm fine with that because it's just a UV. So I don't want you, I don't want you, I don't want you. Oh, no, I do want you. Don't want you, don't want you, don't want you, don't want you. And just do a quick IPR of that. Kind of dig how the black fur looks, to be honest. Kind of interesting. If it works for ears front clump, then we're onto something. Because I can just go through and paste. Yeah, I mean the thing is with hair texturing is you very rarely texture hair. You can just do, well, at least, you know, in movie production you do have to texture hair, but in movie production no one uses XGen, so you can kind of get away with it. Right, do they work? Do any of them work? Ears front clump doesn't work. Okay, so I do have to go through manually and do it on all of them. That is so frustrating. But we do it once and we're done. Body's not working best because we don't have the same material assigned, so I can assume it's working based on this. But hey, we got coloured fur based on a map, so that's one step. So we got fur front clumps. Let's show all these again. So I just need to make sure I don't lose track of where I am as I go. So, paint you. That's great. You're doing a good job. Replace you. I need to get the property editor. Replace you with ramp UV. Then click paint again. That will show this, which allows me to save you and save you. So that's that one done. Next one. This is so tedious. Oh my god, this is absolutely awful. Right, so next one, base UV, create map, grab U, ramp UV, do that again, save textures. This is the worst. I've done some tedious tasks in my so far 3 years in industry, but this is a new level. This one's a new low completely. And if I find out I have to do all this again because it doesn't support colors, I will cry. Base UV, create map, that's fine. Create U, replace U with UV, U again, save textures, save ptex. I know one company who uses it in production. Can you email their look dev and texture artist my condolences, please? Tell them I am deeply sorry for what some random developer thought is a good idea. Yeah, well, if you're thinking Disney, then yeah, theirs is probably insane. Base UV, create map. Huh. That's scary. Oh, the nodes are sat on top of each other. Oh, that's horrible. So it's like every step is designed to fuck with me in some way. Yeah, Disney. Yeah, fair enough. But theirs surely has been like customized beyond belief. Base UV, create. If I finish this and it ends up not working, cool. Save textures, save view, peach fuzz. Oh, the peach fuzz. I'm gonna put this UV thing on there anyway, but I won't be using it. Base UV, create map. Ramp UV. Can you feel the deep sadness in my voice as we go through this? Shame on this did not care to finish it and make it production ready. Would be so nice. Yeah, it would be. And to be fair, I feel like Action isn't far off being production ready. It's just there's some quirks like this. Like there should just be a regular UV export that works for all renderers. Like there should just be a switch that allows it to inherit the UV position of the mesh it's sat on. That doesn't feel to me like it would be that difficult to do. Granted, I'm not a developer. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I do feel like it should be easy. Like for a professional developer, they already have the UV positions of every hair anyway, right? They just need to be able to write it out. And I think that puts me in the last one, whiskers, which again won't get textured, but it's worth doing anyway. Base UV, add that, create map. It is changed color, so I know it's working. Save. Okay. That was horrible. I'm going to alt save this scene. And let's do a test render. It will only work on the grooms that have the blue hair assigned, which is basically all the ones on the head. You notice that most of the Maya features are almost production ready, stopped at 90%. Yeah, that's why pretty much every studio has an R&D team dedicated to fixing minor issues, right? That's why everyone has their custom. Every single studio has like a custom pipeline set up. Low voltage does. And the problem is though, is like they don't have a monopoly on the industry, but they kind of do. Like obviously Mudbox never really went anywhere, but 3ds Max is still fairly dominant in games as far as I'm aware. Although Maya's getting picked up more. Maya's obviously like the tool to learn. Like if you could learn one tool for the industry, Maya would have to be it. You won't get a job really just learning any others. Maybe Houdini, but you can't just learn ZBrush. You can't just learn. You know, it doesn't work like that. Right. So we have working UVs. I kind of dig this this hair color. To be honest, it's kind of cool. So now I need to learn how the fuck do I get this to work. Right, so that's saved. So let's go. I need to quickly do something because this is really going to annoy me. So I'm just going to go in panels, turn on the hyper shading here, so I can just space in and out. I can get rid of you now as well. Attribute, right? Okay, so hair shading. So we've got Pinbar, Pixar Primbar. What data type is this? It's a message. String. Does it have to be a string? I can't convert RGB to a string. Have I just ran a wild goose chase? So, like maybe I can just plug this in. Let me. Obviously, I'm not using a pixel texture. Come on, let me delete you. Why are you not letting me delete you? Okay, let's create a checker texture. Connect. I think. Which way round was it? Windows. Material viewer. Oh, I've got that UI bug again. Okay, cool. Let me just alt save again. 52. Oh no, I've not got that UI bug. Why can't I view anything? Window, material viewer. Okay. Let me just check the task manager. I'm gonna kill a few cores from Maya just in case. So let's set affinity. Kill it off a few cores. Right, so I can't convert a float value to a string because a string is not going to read multiple inputs, right? Well, maybe it is. But I don't think I can put like result RGB.R or anything like that you could in another tool. So let's just try this out. I think red was V. It doesn't matter if I'm wrong, to be honest, but let's just try a checkerboard. So let's IPR that. With the solution from PLP. Okay, I'll check that out again. Let me just see if this works. I'm just curious to see if this could work. from PLP. So what's PLP? This doesn't show the UV thing. This just shows. So his GIF is not what he's doing. Oh, this is working. Let's test something. Multiply, divide. Set this to 16. And render that. Diff is a different solution. Let's see if this works. If this works, then at least I've got something that allows me to go in, but obviously I want to be using, you know, wherever possible, I want to be using Pixar manifold while that render. I'm going to put this off screen, sorry. And let's just get that off because that's kind of gross. And then I'll get that link back up that you originally sent. So that's the Autodesk one. Oh, I just realised this was you. Cool. 6 days ago. Oh wow, that's really recent as well.
I have a pineapple.
What?
Are you still streaming?
Yeah, still streaming. Looks like it's worked.
What is it?
The hackiest thing.
What's happening?
I hate the ID channels. Well, tiling works, so we've done something.
Oh, I like it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I got a checkerboard in it. It works. It's disgusting, but it works. I actually kind of dig this as well. I'm getting like 2006 emo vibes. Hey, Becca.
Hang on.
I need to tile it more though. It's kind of funny how that works. I kill the render. I'm also going to delete like all the renders before this point. So let's multiply these by 64 and kick off a new render. I just want to see kind of what resolution we can get to. Obviously we kind of will be maxed out at 1K, so I can't do more than a 1K texture for the hair color just because those source ramps themselves were 1K. So this checkerboard I'm making now, in theory, would be 64 by 64, but it's also times 4 because checkerboard by default has 2 colors. So this will be a 256 map. Oh no. No, it's a 128 map because it's 2 by 2. So whatever this looks like is how much information I have with a 128 pixel by 128 pixel texture map. So it'll be interesting to see how small these checkers are. Break that off screen. Wow. Alright, so to close. Did I accidentally just delete the render? I did, didn't I? Rip. And it says start new render to kill it. That's so annoying. Got that now. Cool. So am I frozen? I think my Maya died. Check details. Not responding. Yeah, okay, cool. Hi, Maya. Yeah, on old render view start again, which means it's gone straight back into my freaking client folder. So annoying.
What is it?
So every time Maya dies for some reason, it's setting the project back to the freelance.
Oh, for God's sake.
It's just like, luckily, like, you know, the character name is arbitrary, so it doesn't reveal anything. But I've not got their full name in there, but it's still just like, why? Just stay set. I guess because it's crashing, it's not closing properly, but still. Really annoying. Right, so where did it crash? I got the Pixar print file plugged in. And right, so Pixar manifold 2D. So I need to get that link back. History. Right, so you've created float XS and float XT and created maps for these. Found the file nodes. So is there not a way to connect one channel of a color to this? Like, surely there has to be a way to kind of grab just this channel from him and plug that into there. Because I know in Houdini you could put like base UV dot R and that would work. Obviously it's not going to work in this, but it's a shame that doesn't work. So that means I have to go through all of the file safe references and then it'll save. Yeah, true. Alright, file. Save references. Cool. So it saves preferences when you close my down, right? So I guess that's what it's not doing. That's so annoying. So I have to go through all the grooms again and do this task twice, which is disgusting. But you only have to do it once, so I'm gonna shut up complaining. So in body, I need a float. I'm gonna call this. What are you typing? Or trying. Want to get the UVs into a pixel manifold. Apparently the way to do it is to create a separate primvar for the U coordinates and a separate primvar for the X coordinates. For U and yeah, I don't think channels are gonna work. Yes. Yeah, so I just need to do one for the U coordinates, one for the V coordinates. But the one that I made is U and V. I don't think I can separate it out unless I can do Pixar. Is there a Pixar conversion? No. Pixar string, Pixar float, Pixar color. No. Alright, cool. I'm just gonna have to go through and do it. Action. Base U. And then create that. I want to create a map for you. Called base U. Set to map resolution of 1. And create. And then I need to replace U with, oh god, this is gonna get cramped. Windows, property editor. So I have to close this because I need my tool settings too. There we go. Everything I need on one screen. So I need to replace this with base textures, utility. So U should be a horizontal ramp. So let me just double check. Horizontal gradient factors, yeah, because S is U. So ramp U, and then click paint. Cool. And then I want to save in U, and I want to save U. So I need to do the same thing for this guy, which is base V. Well, if you create primvars for U and V, you can then push the map between. Get RGB out. Wait, XGM hair mapping node. What is this magic? I don't think I can connect this though. It needs to be a primvar for RenderMan. It needs to be set as a primvar. So I don't know if this will work. Although this is really good to know. I'm going to be switching to Arnold for the next project, just because I want to get a bit more variety. Apparently I can't use that though. So base V, create that. It's a float. Create map. Base V. Grab U. Place U with V. Paint again. Save texture. And save ptex. You can connect out UV to the UV ramp. You can, but I need it as a primvar to use. I know that trick. It's something actually I did a couple of moments ago with the checkerboard. But to use textures like properly in RenderMan, you want to be using a Pixar manifold with a Pixar texture node, and that doesn't support UV coordinates just being plugged in. It needs a pixel manifold, and that needs it as separate primvars. So it's just a glorious time all around, really. Right, so that's one groom done. So let's call this base U. That's at the float. Create map. Base U. Come on. I need base U. Cool. Save textures. Save U. Base V. Create map. Base V. Update this. Ramp V. Save this texture. Save this ptex. I think that's done. Cool. Next groom.
There, summer clothes ordered.
You ordered your summer clothes?
Mm.
Nice. Cool. So we need base V. Create. Oh my god, this is so tedious. I need to make a sparkly new one. Right, so next groom, eyelashes, which I don't need, but I'm going to do anyway, just because I never know. Base U, create map. Replace U with ramp U. Click paint again. Save textures. Save ptex. Base V. We will get there. We will do this. Custom base V, that's fine. Cool. I wish there was some kind of confirmation that you've saved a ptex. I also might need to go through after all this is done and like up-res the ptex, because it's currently saving that at 1 density, but anything above that and it crashes, so I might not be able to get actually full resolution on my maps, which is not ideal. But yeah, so we got that one done. For the head, let's create a shiny new base U. Great map. Save textures. I'm surprised 10 people are still watching, to be honest.
I'm all of them.
What?
I'm all of them.
My mum is 2 of them. You're 8 of them. Did that save?
Oh.
Cool. Now, base V. Great map. I should probably test this as well before I get the whole way through it. So let's do that. I'm going to test it at this stage. Save textures. Save view. Cool. Go to hair. Pixar manifold. So this needs to be base U. This needs to be base V. Then I need a Pixar checker. Connect the manifold. Connect U to there, and there, and there. And let's go with 16 and 16 and save the scene. Cool, so let's go RenderMan, IPR. With any res. Yes and no, because it'll be limited by my UV resolution, right? And because I exported the ramps at 1K, I'm restricted to 1K. So it's a bit of a limitation. But then at the same time, I just want general hair color variation. I don't want any, like, I'm not going to be doing per strand stuff. And if I do, I can export a custom attribute for that. I don't need the UV attributes. Oh, it's working. Cool. This isn't a phase, man. I'm a bit worried that my UVs are a bit distorted. Either way. I love what the ears do. The ears are kind of funny. Let's end that. At least we know it's working. And you do it once and we're set. Maybe at some point off stream I'll remake those linear ramps in a different software. I can load them out of 4K and go through this whole process again. Matic clumps. Base. Oh. U. Great map. That's fine. I'm also limited by the Pt.17 resolution as well, which I might not be able to go full res on that. Save textures, save Pt.17, base V, create map. Dalmatian. Yeah. Run V. Cool. View. Save textures. Save Pt.17. Next groom. Neck. We're almost there. Issue. Quick map. Issue. Don't know why it's adding the 1. Create. Save textures. Save this again. Base V. Create that. Create map. Base V. Actually, maybe I can get away with higher resolutions than 1K, because these get filtered. So maybe it works out as higher than 1K because it's filtering a ramp, so I can't imagine it having any difficulty with doing that. Granted, we're still limited by the Pt.17 resolution, but as long as we save these maps, I can update the Pt.17 resolution with basically no work. I just go into this expression and change it. Although the fact I have to do all this pipeline to begin with is disgusting. Like, this is really a massive oversight in the way it was built. All praise texture filtering though. That's potentially saved me a lot of redoing. Cool. Base V. Create map. Cool. And then last one. I really want to find out what these, how you use these. Anyway, base U. Create map. Base U is fine. Paint U again. Cool. And the last one. So excited. Can't you hear it in my voice? Base V. Cool. Click paint. Save textures. Save you. In theory, we're now done. So I'm going to do a test render. Let's put the... Alright, let me just save the scene. So, version 55. I'm going to throw the same material on every groom, which is the blue material. So an existing material, hair blue. So I should put the checker on all of them. And then I just want to quickly test something afterwards. So let me just search xgen uv prim var. What's it called? Surface shader parameter. Looks like it's working to me. We have textures. So let's change the tiling. We got it set to 16. So let's go back into this manifold. Set that to 64 and 64. And try to render that. Then all I have to do is paint two different fur color textures, fur color 1 and fur color 2, or A and B, and then I can put one into the blue hair and one into the white hair, so I don't have to worry about getting the lines exactly right. I can use the same pixel manifold for both of them, because it's just a texture. No UDIMs or anything like that, so. Sounds like a window that's not closing. You mind if I close one of those actually?
Go for it.
Cool.
What?
This door's acting all funny. There we go. Lock just got stuck. Oh, it's working. So we're never going to get a perfect representation on checker just because the fur itself is doing some serious work to distort it. But at least now we can start painting and get some kind of textures in there. It's interesting. So the thing I wanted to test out, I'm going to hide all the grooms except the body first because the body is the most visible. Is there if I just call this U and this V, I think that's the way it's up there. Is that going to work still? If that works, I'm going to be so upset. I'm also going to be incredibly happy because it means I never have to do any of that again. But it also means I've wasted the last 40 odd minutes. So I just noticed it then. I don't think it will work. Action surface shader parameters. No, it doesn't work. Well, that's a relief, I guess. Cool. I tried that. Yeah, I can imagine a lot of people have. It's just one of those things that I feel like I had to try it, because if I don't, it'd keep me awake at night. Base U, base V. Right, so we have our working textures. Well, we have our working UVs. I just made the mistake of saving, so I need to reassign all my materials. Let's go through and do that. And then we can start painting a texture. Super quick texture, mind, because it's already 20 past 10. But, so we got hair blue, which goes on you, not you, not you, not you, not you, you, and you. We got white, which goes on you. We got whiskers, which goes on you. We got eyelashes, which goes on you. And we've got peach fuzz, which goes on you. Cool. So they all have their correct colors now. So that's saved. Okay, so I just need to export. Okay, so something I'm going to do is I'm going to get my guides. So head. Didn't mean to lock the guides, but well. Cool. And that gets all the guides, right? Yeah, cool. Going to go into utilities and convert these to curves, which is that one. I don't want to delete those. Oh no, that's curves to guides. Where's guides to curves? There we go. And keep, convert. And I'm going to do the same thing with the neck. So let's hide those. Get the neck. Because these are the two longest grooms. The ears I can kind of know where everything's going, but the neck and the head, the root position doesn't really correlate that much to the tip position. So I need all this stuff. Then if I select all of these, and I can go into, let's just group them into one group for now. Can I go down? No, I can't. And let's go into generate, curve utilities, attach brushed curves. This might take a minute. Or two. That was a lot quicker than I expected. Alright, cool. So now we can hide the X-Gen grooms. So they're too thick. Let's change that. Okay, so that's all those curves. Going to generate template brush settings. Set it to 0.1. Curve utilities. Attach brushed curves. Now we have some geometry. Can we combine these? I don't think we can. So let's modify, convert those to polygons. So paint effects to polygons. Cool. Delete the history on that. I can get rid of all these guys now. I can delete the curves. Assign a Lambert to all these. Oh, I hate that. Let's just assign a temp Lambert. Cool. Combine mesh. Cool, so now have a proxy mesh for the hair, so I can see where my brush strokes on the texture correlate to the tip of the hair. Granted, it's only on the guides, I've not done it for the actual hair. But now if I just go in and delete unused nodes, which means I'm going to lose my hair color node, I just realized. That's fine, I can always recover it from an old scene. Export this guy, so cache alembic, export selection to alembic. You go to model, let's go to texturing actually, textures, model, hair, proxy, 01. Cool. And then we can select our base model, which is using its mesh 1 UVs, map 1 UVs even. And then I'm going to export this guy. Export selection to alembic. And I'm just going to call this body underscore geo underscore map 1. I'm just going to get rid of the 01 for this guy. And then let's just make sure he's in world space with UVs, yep. Cool. So now, that's version 56. I'm going to open the old scene, or a old scene. I just want to get that hair color while that loads.
What's he doing?
Prepping everything to go into Mari. Task manager. I need to make sure that I'm locking up Maya for this.
What do you mean?
Because I'm opening Mari, which is quite intensive on the system. And if I'm having Maya use all the cores, then I'm going to have a nightmare. New project name, body, geo, map 1, and let's cool. Got the path to this guy. Groom. Oh, it's not groom 91. Text. No, not groom 91. Textures. Hair model. Cool. Channels. I just want to create one channel. Can I rename you? Add custom. Why not? For call 1. In fact, let's call it for call A. Let's do a 2K as well. I don't need higher than 2K. Color space raw. I guess it's going to be an sRGB though, isn't it? And let's do that. Cool. Create that. Cool, so perspective. Let's go into our objects, add object, hair proxy. Object load failed. Fuck you. Well, while we're here, let's get that hair color that we wanted. Hair map. Where is he? Pixel hair color. We want this color, so I guess I'm gonna need sRGB or RGB. 63081. Uh, 61381. Cool. So let's go to that new editor. Or is it in the graph? I don't know what it works on. 0 to 100 apparently. So let's go back into Maya. Zero zero two four 0119. That's not what I want. 0.19. And how much red was in it? 317. That's not what I want. 317. Cool. So I feel like I'm gonna need a sRGB. Can I put a gamma? Just to preview it. I'll turn it off at export, but 0.454. There we go. So that's my base color. Merge. Base. I need to remember to turn this off when I export. And then I'm going to do a color. In fact, actually, I'm going to duplicate this guy. You okay?
Hi.
What?
Right, you ready for this? It's £2.50 for a slice of pie in Jamaica. Right?
Right.
Which is the bargain, right?
Right.
It's $3.50 in the Bahamas.
Oh.
So it's $3.50 for a slice of pie in the Bahamas.
Right.
Do you know what this is?
No, I've no idea what I'm about.
It's the Pirates of the Caribbean. Did it.
I hate that so much.
I hope you lose so many viewers because of my joke.
Anyway, we'll get some hair color variation from that. Just going to ignore everything Becca just said.
I just choked on my own, like, slime.
Humor. Right, so we need to import Alembic. Import Alembic. Textures. Hair. Hair proxy. Screams in humor. Let's go into the UVs. So that's why it didn't fit.
That's what she said.
No, it's not.
It's the way the cookie crumbles.
Layout. Layout UV. Ian says badumts.
Oh, amazing. I can provide more.
No, please don't.
They're actually here for my books. You don't really have an audience. You can hear them screaming, Becca!
Becca.
Do some more!
Please, never again. Can I import this with no UVs?
That sounds disgusting.
Force PTEX.
What are they broken?
I'm gonna put a temp thing on my desktop.
That is also disgusting.
It is. Oh, I have to pick an existing. Oh, shut up. Right, so now I've got that. I can re-export you. Alembic, export selection to Alembic. Hair proxy. Just going to close Maya. Add object, hair proxy. There we go, we have a hair proxy. So, what colours do we want? So I want some patches of really bright, vibrant colours, like that. So let's bring this window over here. Let's turn off the gamma. I don't mind if she continues. Okay,
yes.
Apparently they're okay with your awful humour.
I'll get you more.
Becca has found her purpose. It's about time, to be honest.
Oh, you are
You are a... What?
autocorrect.
Autocarrot.
Autocorrect.
The goddamn autocarrot.
So for everyone's reference, I thought that the word Pikachu, or you know, the Pokemon, Pikachu.
Pikachu.
Pikachu. I've been spelling it my entire life the wrong way. I only found out because people were joking and I didn't know. I thought they were making fun of my sentence structure and the way. I can't remember what it autocorrected Pikachu to like toasties or something really stupid. And then I spelt it and everyone thought it was hilarious and I just thought that I was like they were laughing at toasties, but no, I can't spell Pikachu apparently until now. But I say Pikachu, so it's P-I-K.
No, you say Pikachu, but you spell Pikachu. Pikachu.
P-I-K-A.
Zia says oof. I assume to me saying you finally got a connoisseur.
He's so mean to me, someone will put him. Somebody get his face from him.
But we actually are quite a loving couple. You wouldn't believe it, but
It's okay, I make him mashed potatoes.
she makes me the nicest mashed potato.
The nicest food. He is my like experimental cooking bitch because
Experimental cooking. What? Ricardo, can I see the topology of the jaw? I just closed it. Let me check how I can see. Yeah, there we go. Wireframe. That's the wireframe of the jaw.
I can't see shit.
Yeah, it might not come through on stream.
What wireframe are you showing, buddy?
You can see right there. You're at a distance. Look, right there.
There is a wireframe.
Yes.
Oh shit, yeah. What the fuck? It's like a...
Can you not see it?
No.
It's super fucking clear where I am.
Well, maybe you're friggin' special.
I am special. I've got the most amazing girlfriend in the world. Oh, you don't comment when I'm nice to you. Right, let's create a paint node. 2K, yeah, that's all fine. And then I want to get a basic brush. Let's get you. No problem, man. Let's get some variation in there. Oh shit, I'm projecting the hairs. Okay. Objects. I might keep those because they're kind of interesting. Let's just get a white dot there, a white dot there, and a white dot around here. And let's do some white sections in the back of the head. Let's do, well, not white, but like brighter. That's too much. Cool. That's that for now. That's all I need. Let's just save and archive this scene. Archive. Projects. Personal work. Sam Rowan. Textures. Hair. Where did I save the other? It's in here, right? The other archive. You alright, Becca?
What time did the man go to the dentist at?
2:30.
Fuck you.
Yes! I'm so happy with myself now.
How does a penguin build its house?
How?
It glues it together.
Oh, I don't like that.
Oh, I made a pencil with 2 erasers. It was pointless.
I hate that.
I had a neck brace fitted years ago and I've never looked back since.
Have a seam in the middle of the face or visible part problem when you work on UDIMs, true? Depends on what you're texturing with. Using UDIMs, it doesn't matter where you're it doesn't matter where you place your UV seams. You're still going to have the same issues as if you weren't using UDIMs. Using UDIMs itself doesn't change that. Using UDIMs more just allows you to organize your UVs cleaner and get more UV space without needing huge maps. In terms of not worrying about where you put your UV seams, ideally you should always hide them as much as possible anyway. But it's whenever you're using tools like Mari and ZBrush, it doesn't really matter that much because they can kind of, ignore. They do fine without, basically. Let's export this. Export flattened, export current channel flattened. Cool, so that's that done. I'm going to close this scene. Because I don't really have enough time to do variations or versions of this. Hey, Becca. Thank you. Alright, let's open this. I really need to make a new scene called lookdiv, which I think I'm going to do right now actually. Or make a new folder called lookdiv. Because I'm at that stage now where I'm not going to be doing as much back and forth. So save scene as. I'm going to create a new folder called 04 lookdev. I'm just going to call this dev I've got a dentist joke too.
Tell me.
Just come over and read it. I'm awful at reading stuff out.
Read it.
I've got a dentist joke too. A guy walks into the dentist's office and says, I think I'm a moth. Dentist replies, you shouldn't be here, you should be seeing a psychiatrist. Guy replies, I am seeing a psychiatrist. Dentist asks, well then, what are you doing here? The guy says, your light was on.
Lamp.
I love lamp. Isn't that actually a thing in Anchorman?
Yes.
Like one of the characters goes, I love lamp.
What do you call a fake noodle?
What do you call a fake noodle?
An imposter. It
Leave.
makes me want to yell, forget about it.
Spaghetti about it. PXR texture.
Might be the funniest dad jokes. Today my son asked, can I have a bookmark? And I burst into tears. 11 years old and he still doesn't know my name is Brian.
Wait, what?
Can I have
Oh
a
my
bookmark?
god.
Jesus, Mike.
Oh my god, I hate that.
I'm gonna just start making my own stream where I just read dad jokes.
Do it. You'll probably get more viewers than me. Let's be honest.
My wife is really mad at the fact that I have no sense of direction, so I packed up my bags and write. Like that one.
I don't. I really don't. Right. Oh no, not you. Oh.
Be quiet.
You don't have to be quiet. I enjoy hearing your voice, and I think the chat does too.
Like, comment, and subscribe for more. I think it was whenever Alberta Laugh reacted to my post. I was like, I'm providing all of your daily giggles at my shit language.
I like how you fucked up that sentence.
Shut up!
Are you tired? Have you had a nap?
You need
You
one.
need one.
I have a feeling that I didn't recall what part of this chair and I got alarms and you damn it.
I can't tell if Ricardo's reacting to the jokes or something I've said, which is probably the
Say
jokes.
anything that's funny.
Or never say anything funny.
I demand a response.
Hmm?
I demand a response.
What kind of response are you demanding?
From Ricardo.
Ah, from Ricardo. Stream will be ending in about 10 minutes, guys. Missing texture, my favourite. I forget that it auto detects UDIMs and sets the name accordingly. It's annoying that it doesn't do that for Mudbox or ZBrush. Like, I know they have almost the same naming convention, just one of them's offset by 1, but still, like, it's a bit annoying. Oh, also did I show you Takeshi69?
Oh my god, he's fucking snitched. Get him off the screen.
Get off the screen.
Let's do Doxy.
Just gonna go through and delete the ID channels. If anyone knows how to get rid of the ID channels from these guys, that'd be much appreciated.
I like them.
Thanks for the stream. Yeah, no problem, man. It's not ending quite yet. If anyone has any questions, do let me know. It will continue until about 11 o'clock. There we go, we have colour. Sorry, it's super dark. Like, super dark. Do I have it linearized? I don't have it linearized. Okay. I've already closed Mari, so I'm not going to pick it back up to do some quick tweaks. So I'm just going to kick off a progression render, which, have I been doing them with progression images? Okay. Yeah, that is so much darker now. Maybe I should quickly fix it. Back into Mari we go. So all I need to do is turn on U, and let's see if that works. Export flattened, export current channel flattened. Left ear missing some hair. Yeah, there's a little bit that's not quite covered yet. I just wanted to, well, I did some tweaks to the groom at the start of this stream, and I just wanted to get kind of the textures in place and that sort of stuff. Right, that's exported. So go into textures. I'm going to delete this guy. I'm going to make him again. Render man, tools, texture manager, pick image. Cool, that's him converted. There he is. There's the wrong window. Cool. I'm going to put this in the correct camera. I can probably kill this now. That's our previous one. We may have to play about the color pipeline a little bit for hair. Still lost a lot of vibrancy. Well, we've got variation in there now at least. Lovely stream, mate. Yeah, thank you. I'll be streaming again on Thursday, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. And hopefully once I've got the current freelance finished, I can start streaming like extra days again. But in the meantime, yeah, it'll just be Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday again. Yeah, glad you enjoyed it though. We lost so much vibrancy in the colour. See you, mate. Colour's really bothering me.
Why?
Because it doesn't match at all.
What do you do?
Well, technically, I put in the exact same colours. The first one, so this is what I rendered yesterday, and this was with the pixel hair color, so just basically colour picking. This is how it renders when I use the exact same colours, and this is if I gamma correct it, so it's closer, but it's still like nowhere near as vibrant. Granted, it might be better.
Well, it's more of a royal blue colour. That one's far too bright. The original render's nowhere near the colour of the concept.
Mm-hmm.
That's closer to the concept in terms of.
No, I don't think it is though.
It's definitely a darker, more royal blue.
Where is it?
See?
I think out of all those though, that one's closer.
No. The tone of the blue, see on the top of the ear, that kind of tone of the blue, that's closer. The other one's far too. It's got too much green.
As in this one?
Yeah, that one's
Okay.
a lot too. It's a really greeny colour to it.
Yep.
It's also far too dull. I know the dullness in the. What should we call them, guys? There. I think you might also benefit from putting a big light above his fringe because that seems to be where it's catching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can see the vibrancy of the blue.
Yeah, maybe I could put a light behind his head.
Or even see the way it's lit up on top of the fringe.
Yeah.
The concept art.
Yeah. Cool, I can give that a go. Right, it's 11 o'clock guys, so I'm going to end the stream. I'll continue working on this on Thursday. I'll probably do the model tweaks just because that's what's bothering me the most now. Just pulling in the cheekbone a bit and pulling in the chin a little bit, and then probably just leave it alone. And then just hair texture from there. So we're getting towards those final stages now where there's still quite a lot of work to be done, but I just want to push through it now. So yeah, we'll see what we can do. And then obviously at the end I'll probably comp this a little bit just to push it that tiny bit closer. Add some more contrast to the hair, grade the face, that sort of stuff. Just because it is going to be for a still. So yeah, alright. See you guys.